Brawl Network, this is the Players Talk Live podcast, a show dedicated to the next generation of student athletes. Here are your hosts, Chad Allen, Tommy Polley, and Eric King.
Welcome to Players Talk Live, podcast on the Brawl Network, where each conversation is authentic and centered around educating the next generation of student athletes using our 4 pillars: coaching, mentoring, developing, and influencing. I'm your host, Chad Allen, and I'm joined by co-hosts and former NFL players Tommy Polley and Eric King. Welcome today, fellas. Let's just kind of jump right into it. We want to kind of get our audience acclimated to who we are. And again, we serve as a player development platform virtually that uses something very unique. I like to say that because at the end of the day, calling in live and having live conversations at this time during the pandemic is like crucial because we can't have in-person interaction. So we cover 4 pillars: coaching, mentoring, developing, and influencing. So again, I want to welcome you, but at the same time, I want to give you the opportunity to let our audience know how we're going to use this platform of Players Talk Live and what is it meant to do in reference to being a platform for the audience or to the voice of the student athlete, right? So how do you see the platform being used and how will you affect and create change for this generation? Eric, let's start with you, Eric.
I think one of the ways and one of the features where we can utilize this platform is just, being strategic in what's happening now with the pandemic today. Utilizing platforms like WebEx and Huddle and strategic meetings on Zoom. You can now get guys locked in and have a conversation and still be able to get your message across, even though you can't do it in person. Those would be some of the ways that we utilize our platform and get that message out. We want to develop character. We want to be able to develop these young men. One of the ways that we do that is we provide good messages for them. I might do a podcast. I might do a particular Zoom call where I might play a snippet of someone like Eric Thomas, a motivational speaker or someone of that sort, where I can bring in, that character developing, that character building theme that I want my young men, especially of color, to have this day and age. And those will be some of the ways that we'll be able to utilize this platform and provide them with good content.
Sound good. What about you, Tom?
I want to be able to use this platform to expand our reach, right? We've been working with guys from a long time, but a lot of time it's basically is local, where we at, or we regional, or, the areas we in. I'm on the Midwest coaching at St. Mary's, so that's I'm primarily dominated or primarily at. You out there in California, so that's where you primarily are, and Chad is on the East Coast in Baltimore, and that's where he primarily at. But with this platform right here, this could be the guy in Minnesota can call in and ask a question and get the same information that the guys that we work with currently now is getting. So I think it's a great tool. I mean, with today's technology, to be able to reach and see each other and be like he said, have those Zoom meetings where we can coach them up of kind of what to put on film. A lot of times they don't know what's acceptable to put on film. So when a coach evaluating, they can get a good evaluation. So I think that's what we can come in at. Every play on your huddle is not the play just because you might even made a good play. It might not even be the play to put on there. It might be a special teams play or something like that. So just always be a resource and a guide. And if a guy is in trouble or doesn't really know how to answer the question, we'll be able to answer that question for them. They can just come on Players Talk Live and ask the questions that they need answered. And then if they needed something to be said, they need a voice, they need an advocate or an outlet to somebody to push their message of somebody either doing them wrong, or they want to even push their own message of them signing to a particular college or whatever that may be. They can come right on this platform and we give them an opportunity to ever sell their brand or build their brand. Because some of these guys got already in high school, got their own monikers and stuff like that with slogans and all that. We can help them guys push that and then answer questions to help them in the recruiting phase and things like that too. So I think it's a multifaceted platform that we can use it for. And I think a lot of players in that process, everybody like to talk about going through, making your way up through high school, in college, we can be that outlet, that resource for them at all times.
Oh man, I mean, again, to have all of that in one platform, I think it's much needed at this time, and I think that people are not really understanding the value of something like that, right? With high schools shutting down, colleges postponing, I think they still need to stay engaged within the work of what it takes to get to the level. And that, again, right now, you got to control what you can control. And if you still can get those resources virtually or have some authentic conversations around it, I think it's an awesome idea. And it sounds like what you're saying is not just coaching, but there's a mentoring piece. Am I correct? Like it sounds like that's a piece of like mentoring as well. So explain that a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Tom.
man. I'm talking to my guys that I previously coached in high school and they're in college right now, just trying to help them from a mental preparation. Just like you said, control what you can control. So if you got to go out there and get, you got to prepare like the season's gonna happen. Don't take a day off. So every day you got to go out there and give it your all, because I think they still going to play. So just being a mentor to somebody right now at this point, because we never been through something like this, but it's been stuff that came along where we couldn't control. We just had to deal with it and learn how to manage it. And I think this is one of the cases. And from a mentor end, it's just another outlet, another voice. Somebody give them another voice of reason. And basically somebody give them a voice of inspiration to keep going. What you're doing is right, and just keep working hard.
Eric, you want to add to that?
You know what? It's funny because just on Monday, we got wind here in LA and in California that the CIF would be canceling the season or postponing the season, the start of the fall sports, in particular football, in December. So just with that alone, I was already got my mind twirling about some of my guys that I know, have big years coming up, that are 21 guys, that are 22 guys that, need to get this film, that need to get this work, that need to be in shape, that need to be mentally prepared and ready to go over the next couple of months so that they can take advantage of what's going to happen in December. And not to mention what's going to happen in December in California. They're only going to play about 8 weeks, and then the playoffs is going to start. So for some young men, that's a limited opportunity for them to get film in, to provide the type of participation needed to grant them a scholarship. So with that being said, I'm already starting to devise plans in different ways, strategically, how I can help mentor these kids. Just yesterday I was training. Well, last week I was training one of my top kids, Larry Turner. He's a top 22 kid, and he's got about 10 offers. He goes to St. Bernard's, a new private school here in the LA area. He just got an offer from Michigan State, just got an offer from Virginia Tech, recently got an offer from Texas. And we trained last week, and it was just me and his brother. Well, yesterday, I hit him up, and he wanted to come train. There was about 4 or 5 other guys that he brought with him. And I was like, whoa, we got something here. And it's a whole different beast that has been developed now that you have these cancellations, now that you have seasons that are being postponed. So not only will I provide an opportunity where these young men can get good field work, but now I'm going to take a couple of days a week where I get that mentorship going. Maybe we jump on that Zoom call, or maybe they come listen to the podcast, or they call in and have some questions that they have going on, because right now they got a lot of questions, and it's a lot of unanswered questions. And for some of them that might not be 5-star or 4-star guys, you're going to be caught in a situation where you might get caught in a shuffle. So it's a lot of things that will be up in the air due to the coronavirus, due to COVID-19. And we're seeing that now, and we're going to have to shape some things differently about how we mentor. And I'm seeing that as well. I'm taking that head on right now, is what I'm saying.
Oh man, like I said, if something was like this, it was around when we were coming around, how much more prepared would we still be? That's one thing I'm hearing. As an athlete, you are encouraged that you still have resources, because that's the biggest thing I think you fear is the fact that if something is postponed or delayed or shut down, then I no longer have the opportunity to keep my competitive edge. So PTL is definitely sounding and shaping to the audience of those who are out there listening. You can keep your competitive edge by calling in and talking with former players as well as insiders like myself, who, for me, I'm the director of student athlete development at Division I institution here in Baltimore. And for me, I love developing, right? So I know I'm going to bring on some development models that we use with our student athletes with career development, just holistically talking to them about mindfulness, wellness, nutrition, things of that sort, career readiness. So at the end of the day, this is not just going to be a athletic sports platform. This is also going to be a total development platform. So yeah, you can come to this platform and get your athletic needs fulfilled, academic needs, career readiness, or just insight from some of the guests that we will have on as well that are experts within their field. So kind of talk to how you're going to develop players, Tommy, in the sense of, okay, I'm a student athlete and I call in and I'm looking to work on some development areas of person, right? Not so much X's and O's, but I say, hey, I like some of your mentoring things, but how can I instill that? So are you going to talk about like routine development, visualization? What kind of things are you thinking we're going to present to the student athlete community?
Oh, definitely have a routine. I tell our guy, to have a routine. Get up, whatever that may be. Get up, work out. But also developing that mind. With these phones and all that. It kind of takes your creativity about the game. It takes away from that. So, for instance, a lot of night before any of my games, I used to just lay in the bed and think about the game the night before. Just lay in the bed and think about the plays I'm gonna make. Some of the formations. Yeah, just dream about it. That's all. And then what happens? I dream about it, like you say. Then I'm dreaming about the play and waking. Oh yeah, and then what happens? You get in the game. So a lot of my time, you see a celebration. It's not even. I don't even really celebrate like because I already done did those plays either in practice and in my head many a times. And I think the phone and these apparatuses take away with that. So it's just having, but at the time you don't, but I think the kids don't know what they don't know, right? So they might then went to practice, did all the study and not even cognizant of the fact that this phone, I had this thing in my hand this whole time and then I went to sleep. And then I ain't thinking nothing about the game for a whole 8 hours. I mean, that's a whole 8 hours. Some of them hours in your dream could have been thinking about the game and thinking about making play. So those right there, and my role would just to, be mindful, just to help you out, give you tips, just to, be on your, be on a little bit, just asking you, hey, did you get your meditation in? Things like that. I got the Calm app. So, if you lay down and just listen to them sounds and, either you're going to doze off or you're going to be thinking about what you got to do tomorrow. So things like that. So both of those things could be good. I just think you need to decompress sometime. But so, that'll help you on that end.
To the Calm app, because I definitely utilize that every morning and do some mindfulness. So I know the Big Ten, we talked about it, Tommy, because you and I were talking about utilizing it and getting it for your son, who's a UConn basketball player. But at the same time, we were just thinking about this because we've always been about the wellness of a student athlete, because even the wellness of us as post players now, right? You retired NFL players. I'm former collegiate student athlete. Eric, retired NFL, former student athlete as well. We have to make sure that we take care of that mental. So the Big Ten invested and made sure that every last one of their student athletes had that opportunity to use the Calm app. So just a quick shout out to the Calm app, because it definitely is beneficial to myself. Tommy sounds like he's using it, and I know many student athletes as well. So Eric, kind of elaborating the same aspect of development. How do you see fit?
We'll be able to do that and strategically be able to place you in certain arenas through PTL because of our resources, right? Like you said, Chad, all of the different nuances that you bring to the table and all the different places that you've been, whether it be you working with pro athletes, whether it be you working at different universities, HBCUs, as well as PWIs. You've done a great job as far as what you've developed and how you are strategically putting it together and laying it out there for the use of others, so that other people can use that platform. But like I talk about with the resources, here we are. We have 2 NFL vets. Here we have 2 ACC vets. Here we have a different network in different industries. I've dipped in a little bit into the real estate industry, as well as the Eric King Foundation. And a little bit about the Eric King Foundation. Our mission is to develop scholarship funding opportunities and after-school activities for underprivileged children with above academic and athletic ability, while also providing the inner city with in urban areas with donations, nutritional expertise, and athletic training. And that goes into what you were saying, Chad. In terms of that wellness part. They can get all of that right here from this platform. My wife is a nutritionist, so part of what I do and how I live my lifestyle revolves around eating right, eating properly, taking the right vitamins, and different types of things of that nature. So that's something that they'll be able to get here, utilize those resources. We'll be able to point them in the right direction. I remember, a little story. I'm sure you'll be able to tell a lot better, Chad. But there was a guy there was a coach from Virginia Tech that recruited you out of high school, recruited myself out of high school, ended up coaching another school, and ended up, because of the relationship that you had, and you'll be able to attest to that story. Why don't you go and finish up that story for me, Chad? But it just relates to the point, the network and the resources that we have. And I'll let you go and finish that story and piggyback off of me.
Yeah, I mean, you telling the story right on. Again, we both were in rival high school, so to speak, in the Baltimore area, the MIA, and at the time, we were fighting for that one scholarship, right? But that college coach, as many of them don't understand, student athletes, yeah, he showed up at your building. He came to see you, but he also made his rounds. So at the end of the day, it was you he was recruiting. He was recruiting myself, and then he was recruiting Vincent Fuller, former NFL player as well, who at the end of the day, Vinny is the one who actually attended the school that we're talking
above
about.
All of us.
And maybe that laid the foundation. And maybe that laid the foundation for him and his family, having that 4th generation down at that school. So that was huge for his family to even
wasn't a
start
bad
that,
choice by Virginia
legacy.
Tech, was it?
No, right? And that paid dividends.
That was a one.
That's still paying off,
3 more
man.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, he still need to be getting checks, even though coach has left there. But yeah, I was coaching a kid in prep school, and the kid went the JUCO route, did everything right. And sometimes things don't fall the way you want, but you have to trust that process, right, as everyone talks about, and you got to keep working. And that kid kept working, and it just so happened that he was getting recruited by the coach. And I said, yeah, I know that coach, man. And so he told the coach, asked the coach about me, and coach said, no, give me his phone number. So he called me, and I was able to kind of talk deeper into some things that maybe the player didn't see or understand what to say, but even from an academic standpoint of how he would fit into that university. And that young man, we'll look to bring him on. His name is Justin Henderson, but he's one of the top NFL prospects and top backs in NCAA right now down at Louisiana Tech. Over 1,000-yard rusher, I think 15 touchdowns this past season. So he's a monster. He's up for the Dope Walker Award. But again, it's a relationships, and that's just one story, right? And I mean, that's what our platform is, and kind of just moving to our last pillar of influence. Like, we want to be able to create an influence, whether it's giving you sound advice, whether it's, teaching you the benefit of paying it forward through your foundation, Eric, using the Eric King Foundation, understanding how to service others and be a platform for others, because that's what Players Talk Live is all about. It's about bringing audiences together to be able to share information. No one's hoarding information. We only grow through shared information, right? Through teamwork. So I'll let you two kind of elaborate on the influence piece, because I know, Tommy, you have a way of kind of describing how you would like to use the platform, because you want players to come on here and voice some things, right? You talk about that a little bit.
I like the players to, if they got something to say, I want them to do Players Talk Live to, spread their message, to spread whatever they got to say. I want us to be that platform, and I think we can. And I don't see it's another platform out there. And what I mean by the platform, so right, you got Players Talk Live, right? But we got a bigger platform with the Broad Network. The Broad Network is a growing platform. They got a network of 25, they in like 25 or 30 cities, NFL cities, and it's basically a 25 or 30 podcasts talking about the NFL teams in different cities. So basically like beat writers or kind of thing. But Broad Network also has different other pods such as ourselves, like who's veering off a little bit from just exclusive talking about NFL team. We talk about other things because we are more than just athletes, right? So the Broad Network is the biggest, for us, is a big stage, right? So now we got a big stage. We kind of, they kind of helping us grow a little bit. So we're influenced on that. So we got our reach to be, limitless. You could be talking to us, but somebody in Denver or in LA or wherever case want to actually be able to listen to you and hear you. So we're going to have a broad voice. Now just come on in here and say what you got to say and get it on out the way, and we can make some things happen. So I think we can influence and be definitely a platform for that. And then like you said, like I was talking about before, we got many coaches and former players that are now coaches that we didn't coast up. I was just talking to, one of my players not too long ago, Shaq Smith, who was a former 5-star kid. We'll have on the show about, about what they're going through now. And right now, they just got them in quarantine. They basically in a bubble, can't be around nobody. So I know it's going to be tough for like another month and a half. It's going to be tough not being to see your family and friends, being isolated.
Can't see their girlfriends.
So, can't see their girlfriends.
Yeah,
Woo,
that's a rough
man. That's going to be tough for some 23, 22-year-olds. Right now, I'm 43. Well, me and my wife apart from each other for a little, man, it's going to be a problem. So, so this being an outlet for them, man, and knowing that somebody's always there for them. Because they got a lot of pressures, to deal with. I think they got more pressures than we had as growing athletes now with the social media piece. So to have a group of guys there that's advocates and coaches and mentors and that can actually develop them, just looking out for their best interests, and not a lot of time along this road, it's not a lot of people that's looking out just for your best interest. Because it was a time I had Shaq Smith. I had him as a junior. I could have been selfish and don't go to IMG. But who gonna stop a guy from? That's his blessing. He's in that position to pay at a $75,000 a year school. You're gonna play on the biggest high school stage that you can play on. Who am I to hold you back just for my own interest? So that's what we're about. Paying it forward and looking out for whatever our players or whatever the players' best interest. And like I said, not a lot of people are doing that right now. They're only looking out for what's in it for them.
And I'm gonna speak to that kid that's not that 5-star kid, that's not that 4-star kid, that's that 2-star, that 3-star kid that needs that help. He needs that question answered. He needs that theory shaped. He needs somebody to let him know where he can go, where he can go find out that information, go get that knowledge, go get that understanding about what's happening. What should he do? What direction should he take? Where should he be at right now at the ground level, and maybe helping him out with his recruitment. Maybe getting him to voice his opinion, maybe where to speak up where he may be at, where he may be in school right now. He might have some issues going on. These things you can find here on our network. These things you can find here on the PTL, on our platform. That's what we're here for. So we plan to help you so that we can help you be an influencer. We want to hear your voice. We want you to share your story. We want to help you, place you in the right type of environment, and we want to place you with the right people. That's what we're all about. We wouldn't be here today, gentlemen, having this talk on this podcast, developing these themes, if it wasn't for somebody doing that for us. So we're paying it forward. We're ambassadors to the game. We represent the game. We represent Black men, and we're here, and we're going to have something great going out for the people.
And then also we got that
Oh,
NFL
man.
piece, right? Right now they got the NFL partnership up with Everfry, who's a character development program. So you hook up with us, you can learn a little bit more about Everfry with the character resources that they have, and to be a part of that. So whatever resources that we have and that we can offer our youth, I mean, we're going to do that. Even from the NFL, if they're giving it to us, and we legally buy it, and we can offer it to our youth, that's what we're going to do. So
I know we're going to
we are type of network.
I know we're going to share a lot of information about NIL, name, image, and likeness. I know that's a hot topic. Social injustice, we understand that's a hot topic. Being able to speak out at your campus. Minority coaches, we know that that's a hot topic. We want to be able to touch on these things. We want to be able to dive into this, and we want to be able to get you answers. It might be some parents out there that have questions about their kids' recruitment. It might be some parents out there of seniors in college, seniors in JUCO, seniors in high school. They want to figure out what's their best way to get their profile of their son or their daughter out there to the public. So that they can get that recruitment that's necessary to earn that scholarship, man. So there's a lot of things that we want to touch on. There's a lot of different points that we'll hit, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited.
As you said, because T jumped in there with the NFLPA, and I wanted to make sure that point was on our audience that I got off of a meeting today. Tommy and I had a brief one, but I had a follow-up meeting today with Open Doors. And when you talk about name, image, and likeness, Eric, we've met with Open Doors. We've met with FanWord. I have a meeting. I got a call today. I have to follow back up with Influencer. But again, we're gaining the knowledge that is needed to better educate our audience, our community, in reference to what name, image, and likeness is going to be. Because yes, you two have played in the NFL, and I think that's where to take care of your family. But as a backdrop, we all were three or multi-sport athletes. So at the end of the day, it's not just about helping football, right? We're going to help men's, women's sports. We're going to help basketball. Like you both have two star basketball players. Like I said earlier, Tommy's son is a Division I basketball player in Connecticut. And Eric, you have one of the top freshman girl basketball players coming up in the high school ranks right now in the DMV. So whether it's, lacrosse, whether it's, insight that you may feel we don't have, we're going to bring the professionals on. We're going to connect you with the right people, whether it's, as Tommy always said, we are a resource center. Even though this is virtual, we're essentially a resource center. So we want to extend our networks, our bi-coastal area of influence, and be able to really develop truly the next generation of student athletes and their parents, the fans. Again, fans, we want fans to be an influence too. So fans, we want you to call in because we're going to bring on different audiences as far as athletes.
Go Deeks.
Athlete, we want you to kind of I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. The rivalry, it will never end. ACC
Go
blood
Deeks,
will
baby.
always got to be shed on this platform. So, but again, whether it's rooting for the Demon Deacons, whether it's rooting for the Seminoles, or even if it's rooting for my Maroon Tigers, it doesn't matter what institution. We want the fan base. We want the community to call in because we want this to be an authentic, enjoyable experience of just education and storytelling and really influence, right? So, again, fellas, I'm just so proud to be a representative of three. We all are three Baltimoreans, come up out of that gritty Baltimore lifestyle of athletics and just survival, and how we've been able to channel that and turn that into success, and now willing to give it back. So I'm just happy today that we can kick this thing off, and I'm looking forward to a vast platform of sharing this knowledge, right? Because we're going to be here on Players Talk Live, but our platform is bigger with the brawl, as you mentioned, Tommy. It's a wide range of opportunity that we're going to present and make available to our student athletes and families. So Are there anything, you want to close out with as we wrap this up, either one of you? Just, kind of put it out there, or I don't know. You've all said a lot. I tell you, we've got a lot of gems from you today, so I don't know if you got any more of that fire left. y'all been spitting some fire today. So,
No, man, I'm happy to be on the
Tommy, Eric,
platform.
anything else?
I'm happy to be on a platform. Happy to be a part of this. Just ready for our mission and our message to be heard.
Yeah, just ready to spread what I already been doing for years. I've been coaching now 10 years. Kids from all parts of the United States, and I want to help more. So, and I think this platform, along with the broad network, give us the opportunity to be on that platform. And I think we only got more chance but to grow. And hopefully the people like the show, and they're going to tune back in and listen to us, to find out that real players talk.
Love it, love it, love it. I tell you, as we wrap this up, we'll just kind of go back over the pillars for those who didn't catch it at the beginning. But our 4 pillars are coaching, mentoring, developing, and influencing. We're going to coach players on the importance of character development, academic excellence, athletic success, career readiness throughout that student athlete journey and life thereafter, right? We're going to mentor players through authentic conversation, as you've heard today, real life experiences from athletes. We're going to bring on business professionals, community leaders, social influencers, and we're going to develop players holistically through proven strategies and NCAA student athlete development success models. And then at the end, again, we always want to influence. So we're going to influence those players to use their voices, the platforms they're currently at, our platform, for the betterment of others, right? We want to truly teach the value of paying it forward within the community. So you can find Players Talk Live on social media platforms of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Players Talk Live. And you can find them on all podcast platforms sponsored by the Broad Network. So, again, thank you for joining today's episode of Players Talk Live on the Broad Network. I'm host Chad Allen with my co-hosts Tommy Polley and Eric King. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at BMoreChad. That's at TPolley29, at E9. And on Instagram, you can follow me again at BMoreChad, at Coach T Polley, at _King_2. So again, thank you all for tuning in. We see you next time on Players Talk Live, where your voice matters.